Hollywood is currently in a state of absolute, unadulterated cardiac arrest. You thought the 2026 news cycle was messy. You thought you'd seen the peak of celebrity betrayal. Honey, hold my camera, because the man who has spent years playing the silent, stoic hero just walked into the digital lion's den and set the whole place on fire. Yes, you heard that right. Michael B. Jordan has finally, officially, and savagely broken his silence on the one relationship no one saw coming, but everyone is terrified of. We are talking about the Hurricane Lori effect colliding head-on with the ultimate industry R&B bad boy, Trey Songz. Is this a bold new romance as the PR teams are desperately trying to claim, or is this the most calculated, cold-blooded power move in the history of the 90,210? Why now? Why Trey? And most importantly, what did Michael find in those alleged encrypted messages that made him decide to burn the nice guy persona to the ground? Insiders are whispering about secret dinners that weren't meant for the menu and a betrayal so deep it's reportedly tearing apart old loyalties and ending careers before the morning coffee hits. Buckle up, because we aren't just scratching the surface. We are digging up the graves of Hollywood's elite. From hidden agendas to the love and hip-hop twist that nobody, and I mean nobody, was ready for, the truth is about to hit like a headline you'll never forget. Is it love, or is it a lethal game of chess? Let's get into the scandal of the century. The world is currently glued to its screens because Hollywood's biggest player has finally broken the silence everyone was waiting for. When the name Michael B. Jordan comes up, one imagines a man of dignity and grace, but what has surfaced in the last 24 hours has shaken the very foundations of the industry. The situation involving Lori Harvey and Trey Songz isn't just ordinary celebrity gossip. It's a phoenix that has risen from its own ashes, and this time, the flames are so high that even a man like Michael couldn't hold back. First, we must understand the depth of this scandal. How a man like Trey Songz, whose reputation in the industry has always been a bit dangerous, suddenly became so significant in Lori Harvey's life. Lori, who has always had high-profile men wrapped around her finger, has played a card this time that has caused Michael B. Jordan's cup of patience to overflow. This relationship with Trey Songz isn't new, but the timing this time is so bizarre that questions were bound to be raised. They say when an old fire is reignited, it burns everything in its path, and that is exactly what is happening here. Michael B. Jordan is famous for prioritizing his career and his honor above all else, but his recent livestream proved that every human being has a limit. Without naming names, what he said was a direct, stinging slap to the face of Trey and Lori's newly started spectacle. Michael stated that some people would go to any lengths to get media attention, even if it means stabbing old friends in the back. This becomes even more serious when we realize that the relationship between Trey and Michael was once very deep. These two supported each other during the industry's toughest days, yet today, that same Trey Songz is flaunting a romance with the very woman who broke Michael's heart. This cannot be a coincidence. It feels like a meticulously crafted plan intended solely to bring Michael B. Jordan down. In this story, Lori Harvey's role has been as mysterious as ever. Calling her Hollywood's greatest strategist wouldn't be wrong, because she knows exactly when to be photographed with whom and when to become part of a headline. Her breakup with Michael happened just when the world thought they were headed for marriage, but suddenly, it all ended. Michael remained silent then, but perhaps he didn't expect that his own old comrade would be waiting so eagerly to take his place. Trey Songz's reputation in the industry has always been shady, with numerous allegations threatening his career, but this new link-up with Lori has brought him back into the spotlight. For Trey, this spotlight is like the oxygen he desperately needed. But the real story begins when we search for the actual reason behind Michael B. Jordan's anger. Sources say Michael has evidence proving that Trey and Lori's relationship actually began while Michael and Lori were still together. This is a betrayal that has shattered Michael from the inside. People are asking, did Trey intentionally provoke Michael's enmity, or is this just a matter of the heart? But in Hollywood, matters of the heart are never that simple. Every relationship is a deal, and behind every deal lies a hidden benefit. Michael explicitly hinted in his statement that he knows all about the secret texts exchanged between Trey and Lori over the past several months. These texts weren't just casual conversation. They reek of a full-blown conspiracy against Michael. Since this news broke, a storm has erupted on social media. Everyone is presenting their own theory, But the biggest takeaway is that Michael has dropped his defensive wall for the first time. His statement that he will no longer keep the door open for anyone is a warning to those who take advantage of his gentlemanly nature. Trey Songz hasn't given a clear reaction yet, but his recent Instagram stories have added fuel to the fire. He is intentionally sharing photos from places Michael used to frequent. This is a form of psychological warfare that Trey has launched against Michael. Harvey remains a silent player in this game, enjoying the view from both sides, but she doesn't realize that when Michael B. Jordan speaks, the whole world listens. The biggest twist in this entire scandal is that Michael's close friends have also started speaking up. They claim Michael always considered Trey a brother, but Trey was always envious of Michael's success. This envy has now grown to the point where Trey has tried to hurt Michael by claiming his former love. But Michael isn't that weak. What he said on the podcast is just the beginning. He has so much more to tell that if he revealed it all, Trey Songz's career could be over forever. People say Trey's lavish lifestyle and uncontrolled spending force him into these kinds of scandals just to stay in the news and keep selling concert tickets. But the question arises, does Harvey realize what kind of fire she is playing with? She has a massive name like Steve Harvey behind her, but Michael B. Jordan has a kingdom of his own. Michael has always respected every relationship, but the way his heart was broken this time has brought out a new side of him. This is the version of Michael that Hollywood fears, the version that isn't afraid to tell the truth and doesn't care about the fallout. The anger in his eyes made it clear that this is no longer just about a new relationship. It has become a personal vendetta. Trey Songz probably took Michael lightly, not knowing that Michael knows enough industry secrets to bury several big names in the dust. As time passes, this story is becoming more complicated as a new leak emerges every day. Sometimes an old video resurfaces. Other times, a screenshot of an old message goes viral. All these things have divided the public into two camps, those who stand with Michael and those who support Trey and Lori's pairing. But the reality is only known to Michael, and he is now standing ready to show that reality to the world. He has stated clearly that history cannot be rewritten and that what happened behind the scenes must now come to light so the world can see the terrifying faces behind these shimmering personalities. Michael's anger has escalated, and he has decided he will no longer remain silent, which is why everyone is waiting for the next explosion that could happen at any moment. The most shocking thing to surface in this entire matter is that Trey Songz reportedly interfered with one of Michael's old project deals. It is being said that Trey made behind-the-scenes efforts to get some of Michael's major contracts cancelled. This wasn't just a war of love, it was a financial and professional attack intended to weaken Michael. When Michael found out about these things, his patience finally gave way. He has contacted his lawyers, and it is being said that legal notices may be sent out soon. These notices might not just go to Trey, but to everyone involved in this conspiracy. This is the first time in Hollywood history that such a massive star has come forward so openly, deciding to expose everything. This could be a difficult time for Harvey because her image is shifting towards someone who pits friends and enemies against each other for her own gain. Cracks are appearing in her fan base, and people are questioning if she feels any empathy for Michael's pain. But Lori has maintained her usual silence, which is her greatest weapon. She knows that the more people talk about her, the higher her brand value goes. But this time, she is up against Michael B. Jordan, who is far more than just a brand value. Michael has proven that he isn't just an actor, but a man of global influence who will go to any lengths for his honor. The world is now waiting for the new leaks that will reveal how Trey Songz laid the foundation of this enmity with Michael. It is said that Trey even tried to show up at one of Michael's very private events where he wasn't invited. It was a kind of obsession Trey had developed for Michael. He wanted everything Michael had, whether it was his career or his love. It was this envy that forced Trey to get so close to Lori that the world would think Michael was now history. But Michael, with his recent move, has shown that he is still the king, he still wears the crown, and no one can just come and snatch it away. We are now at a point where every step must be taken with extreme caution because one mistake could destroy someone's life. Michael tried to keep himself away from all this filth, but when Trey crossed the line, Michael ended his own boundaries. Now, this war is in the open field for everyone to see. The real story behind all this came out when Michael mentioned the secret details that were only between him and Lori. He explained how Lori used Trey to deceive him and how Trey took advantage of that opportunity. This is all so sensational that it feels more like a movie script than reality, but it is real, and this reality is going to take many people down with it. In a world where everything is for sale, Michael has refused to sell his truth, and he has decided to fight this on his own terms. Trey Songz probably thought Michael would remain silent as usual and stay busy with his movies, but Michael has shown that he does not tolerate interference in his private matters. Now the world is watching how every one of Trey's moves is being failed by one move from Michael. Every attempt Trey made to belittle Michael is now becoming a source of panic for Trey himself. Michael has planned to expose all the people who were involved in this dirty game, and the list is very long. As we go deeper into this scandal, we realize that this isn't just a love triangle. There are many more characters working behind the curtain. There are insiders supporting Trey and those who are loyal to Michael. A digital war has broken out between these two groups, with new allegations being leveled every day. Michael has said clearly that he no longer cares and will do what he feels is right. His attitude shows that he is not going to live in anyone's fear, nor will he succumb to any pressure. This is a time of testing for Trey Songz and Lori Harvey because Michael has turned their dream of being in the spotlight forever into a nightmare, and everything has now reached a point from which there is no way back for anyone. The digital battlefield has shifted from the comments section to the boardroom, and the fallout is becoming more toxic by the hour. Leaked evidence and the calculated financial warfare that Michael B. Jordan is reportedly uncovering. The air in Hollywood is thick with the scent of burning bridges, and as the investigation deepens, the web of lies connecting Trey Songz and Lori Harvey is starting to unravel in ways that suggest this was never just about a rebound, it was about a hostile takeover of Michael's peace of mind. The deeper we go, the more the secret texts start to look like a strategic manifesto. Sources close to the situation have begun whispering about the October logs, a series of encrypted messages allegedly recovered from a shared cloud account that Lori forgot to desync. These messages supposedly show that the chance encounter between Trey and Lori at that exclusive Miami club wasn't a coincidence at all. It was staged. The logs allegedly reveal a conversation where the two discussed maximizing the optics to ensure that the news of their reunion would break exactly 48 hours before the premiere of Michael's most ambitious cinematic project to date. This wasn't just a date, it was a media assassination attempt. Michael's reaction to these findings has been described as coldly professional. Instead of the explosive public meltdown Trey was clearly baiting him into, Michael has reportedly turned his home office into a war room. Every time Trey posts a cryptic caption about winning or taking what's mine, Michael's legal team is reportedly adding another line item to a mounting lawsuit regarding tortious interference. You see, the scandal has moved beyond the bedroom and into the bank accounts. We are hearing reports that Trey Songz didn't just stop at the girl. He allegedly went after Michael's production deals. Sources claim Trey used his industry connections to whisper instability into the ears of Michael's investors, suggesting that the public drama would make Michael a liability for upcoming high-budget franchises. The audacity of the move is what has the industry reeling. Trey Songz, a man who has spent more time in the headlines for legal troubles than hit records lately, is being accused of trying to play the puppet master against one of the most respected actors in the game. But as Michael said in his latest viral snippet, you can't play chess with someone who owns the board. The investigative trail leads us to a mysterious dinner in Beverly Hills, a dinner that was supposed to be off the record. Witnesses claim Trey was seen meeting with a disgraced former publicist of Michael's, a person who was fired months ago for leaking private schedule details. The theory: Trey was buying intel. He wanted to know Michael's schedule so he could ensure he and Lori were always spotted just a few blocks away, creating a constant, suffocating presence in Michael's life. Lori Harvey's involvement in this specific phase of the scandal is where things get truly chilling. While the public sees her as the ultimate it girl moving on, the investigation suggests she might be the one providing the insider access Trey needs to execute his psychological war. There are whispers of a revenge folder, a collection of private moments and sensitive business conversations that occurred during her relationship with Michael, which she has allegedly allowed Trey to view. If true, this isn't just a messy breakup, it's a security breach. Michael's camp is reportedly devastated by the realization that the woman he was ready to build a life with might be the one handing the enemy the keys to the castle. As the financial impact starts to show, the public reaction is turning from amusement to genuine concern. Fans are noticing that several of Trey's upcoming tour dates are mysteriously being co-sponsored by brands that Lori recently signed deals with. The reunion is starting to look less like a romance and more like a merger. The public is calling it the Betrayal brand, and the backlash is starting to hit Trey where it hurts. For every lavish gift he posts for Lori, the comments are flooded with #TeamMichael. People aren't buying the happily ever after narrative because the fingerprints of jealousy are all over it. The tension reached a boiling point last Tuesday during a closed-door meeting at a major talent agency. Reports suggest that Michael and Trey's paths almost crossed in the lobby. The atmosphere was so heavy that security had to redirect Michael to a private elevator to avoid a physical altercation. But Michael didn't need to swing a fist. He reportedly just looked at his agent and said, "Let the records speak for themselves." Shortly after that, a series of financial documents were anonymously leaked to an entertainment blog showing Trey's mounting debts. The implication was clear. Trey needs this scandal to stay relevant because his bank account is running dry, while Michael's empire is built on solid ground. And what about the secret dinners? We've tracked the receipts. It turns out Trey and Lori have been frequenting a specific spot in West Hollywood where the lighting is perfect for accidental paparazzi shots. But the investigation found that the photographer who caught them is actually on Trey's monthly payroll. This wasn't a lucky break for a journalist. It was a hired hit on Michael's emotions. Every smile Lori gave the camera was a choreographed strike. But the plan backfired because Michael's silence has made him look like a martyr, while Trey's thirst for attention has made him look like a villain. The fallout is now spreading to their social circles. A-list celebrities who once sat at the same tables are now being forced to choose sides. We've seen notable names unfollowing Trey and Lori in droves, while Michael's inner circle has grown to include some of the most powerful producers in the world who are disgusted by Trey's tactics. The psychological warfare Trey launched is now isolating him. He thought he was winning the girl and the spotlight, but is actually losing his seat at the table. As we approach the end of this chapter, the most shocking revelation is yet to come. Sources say Michael has uncovered a series of voice notes where Trey explicitly details his plan to break Michael's spirit by flaunting the relationship. If these voice notes are ever made public, it won't just be the end of Trey's reputation. It could be the end of his career. The world is waiting with bated breath to see if Michael will drop the hammer or continue to play the long game. One thing is certain, the love and drama hurricane is about to hit Category 5, and Trey Songz doesn't have an umbrella big enough for what's coming. The investigation into the Trey and Lori merger has also revealed a strange connection to a series of shell companies. It appears that the lavish lifestyle Trey is currently flaunting, the private jets, the $100,000 watches, the exotic vacations, is being funded through a loan structured against Lori's future earnings. If this is true, it paints a desperate picture of a man using a woman's success to finance a war against her ex-boyfriend. It's a level of manipulation that even Hollywood's most cynical observers didn't see coming. Michael reportedly knows about this financial arrangement and is waiting for the right moment to expose the empty pockets behind Trey's big spender persona. The narrative is shifting. It's no longer about who Lori is dating. It's about the ethics of the industry and how far one man will go to destroy another man's legacy out of pure, unadulterated envy. Michael B. Jordan isn't just fighting for his heart, he's fighting for the integrity of his name. And as he prepares to enter the next phase of this battle, he's making it clear that while Trey Songz is playing for the blogs, Michael is playing for the history books. The stage is now set for a confrontation that will be felt across every corner of social media. The leaks are getting more frequent, the accusations are getting more daring, and the truth is starting to bleed through the carefully curated Instagram filters. Trey Songz and Lori Harvey might think they've won this round, but they failed to realize that Michael B. Jordan hasn't even begun to fight back with the full weight of his influence. The real shocking, scandalous truth isn't about the romance. It's about the high price of betrayal in a world that never forgets. We will look at the final crumbling of this alliance. We will examine the legal probes that are reportedly being launched into Trey's business dealings, and the moment Lori Harvey realizes she might have picked the wrong side in a war she can't win. The hurricane isn't over. It's just reaching the eye of the storm. Stay focused, because the next leak will change everything. The final veil has been lifted, and the aftermath of this Hollywood catastrophe is leaving a trail of destruction that no publicist can fix. Merger between Trey Songz and Lori Harvey begins to implode under the sheer weight of Michael B. Jordan's counterstrike. This isn't just about a love triangle anymore. It's about the total collapse of a carefully constructed facade. The shocking, scandalous truth is no longer a whisper in the shadows. It's a roar that is deafening the elite circles of Los Angeles and beyond. The turning point came when the October logs were followed by something far more damaging, the final deposition. Reports are swirling that Michael B. Jordan didn't just hire private investigators. He mobilized a forensic accounting team that uncovered a massive discrepancy in the funding behind Trey and Lori's joint ventures. The lavish lifestyle that was supposed to signal their victory over Michael has been exposed as a house of cards. Sources claim that Trey's recent attempt to launch a luxury lifestyle brand, conveniently co-signed by Lori, was actually a desperate front to move capital away from impending legal seizures. When Michael's legal team presented this evidence to the relevant authorities, the narrative shifted from celebrity drama to a federal inquiry. The tension within the Trey and Lori camp has reportedly reached a breaking point. Witnesses at a high-end restaurant in Malibu describe a scene that felt like a movie climax. Lori was allegedly seen sliding a folder across the table to Trey, her face a mask of cold fury. Insiders suggest that Lori finally realized the security breach she helped facilitate was now being used against her. Michael's influence in the industry is so vast that the brands once eager to sign Lori are now reportedly pausing their contracts, citing reputational risk. The Lori Harvey effect has always been about elevating the men she's with, but for the first time, she's the one being dragged down. The realization that she sacrificed a kingdom with Michael for a sinking ship with Trey is starting to settle in, and the cracks in their perfect romance are turning into canyons. Meanwhile, Michael B. Jordan has moved from the whistleblower phase to the execution phase. He recently appeared in a high-profile industry roundtable where he didn't even mention their names, but every word was a tactical strike. He spoke about the sanctity of the craft and the poison of clout chasing. To the untrained ear, it was an inspirational talk. To the industry insiders, it was a death warrant for Trey Songz's career. The major studios have reportedly started a silent blacklist, moving Trey's name to the bottom of every casting and soundtrack list. The power Michael holds isn't just in his bank account, it's in his integrity, and by maintaining his silence while the evidence spoke for him, he has made Trey and Lori look like amateurs playing a game they didn't understand. The most explosive revelation in this final chapter involves a leaked audio file that has sent social media into a total meltdown. In the recording, a voice that sounds suspiciously like Trey is heard laughing about how easy it was to bait Michael into the spotlight. But the laugh stops abruptly when he realizes that the intel he was buying was actually a plant. If the rumors are true, Michael B. Jordan knew about the betrayal months before he let the world know. He reportedly fed false information to his former publicist, knowing it would end up in Trey's hands. Trey didn't outsmart Michael. Michael led Trey into a trap. Every spotted dinner, every accidental paparazzi shot, and every secret meeting was tracked and logged by Michael's team as evidence of a coordinated harassment campaign. The fallout has now reached the legal system. We are hearing that a multi-million-dollar character assassination lawsuit is being drafted. This isn't just about hurt feelings. It's about the tangible loss of income and the damage to a global brand. Michael's lawyers are reportedly seeking damages that could potentially bankrupt Trey's remaining assets. The lavish gifts Trey gave Lori, the jewelry, the cars, the designer bags, are now being scrutinized as potential fraudulent transfers intended to hide money from creditors. The glamour has evaporated, leaving behind a cold, hard reality of debt and litigation. Lori Harvey's strategy has finally backfired. The woman who was watching the storm for the spectacle has found herself at the very center of the lightning strike. Her inner circle is reportedly shrinking, with longtime associates distancing themselves to protect their own careers. There are even whispers that Steve Harvey has stepped in, not to defend Trey, but to initiate a clean break strategy for his daughter. But can you break clean from a storm this massive? The public isn't forgetting the leaked messages or the way Michael's peace of mind was weaponized for clicks. The chess piece has been trapped in a corner, and there are no moves left to make. The public reaction has shifted from curiosity to a demand for accountability. The hashtags have changed from #Trey and Lori to #TheExpose and #TheEndOffTrey. Every social media platform is flooded with deep dive videos analyzing the body language of the trio during their few overlapping public appearances. The mystery is gone, replaced by a clear picture of envy and manipulation. Fans who once defended the new romance are now apologizing to Michael in his comment sections, recognizing the stoicism it took to stay quiet while his world was being picked apart by someone he once called a brother. As the dust begins to settle, Michael B. Jordan is reportedly preparing for a grand exit from the drama. He has signed a massive new deal that takes him out of the country for months of filming, effectively removing himself from the toxic environment Trey tried to create. His final statement wasn't a podcast or a tweet, it was a photo of him on a private set, looking more successful and focused than ever, with the caption, "Focus on the work, the noise will kill itself." It was the ultimate checkmate. While Trey and Lori are left to deal with lawyers, debt, and a tarnished reputation, Michael is moving into a new era of his empire. The career of Trey Songz, once a staple of R&B and entertainment news, is facing a financial crisis that seems irreversible. The sponsors have vanished, the tours are being quietly cancelled, and the influence he thought he gained by taking Michael's place has turned into a liability. He gambled his legacy for a moment of spite, and he lost. The world has watched the rise and fall of this hurricane, and the lesson is clear. In Hollywood, you can survive a scandal, but you can't survive the exposure of your own insecurity. Harvey is now faced with the task of rebuilding a brand that was once untouchable. But the spectacle she enjoyed watching has left her with a reputation for being a chaos agent rather than a trendsetter. The mystery is gone, and in its place is the image of a woman who chose ambition over loyalty, and lost both. The calculated move that was supposed to tear Michael's career apart only served to solidify his status as the industry's untouchable lead. The story ends here, not with a wedding or a reconciliation, but with a series of resignations and probes. The disgraced publicist who leaked Michael's info has reportedly left the industry, and the photographers Trey hired are facing their own legal questions. The tangled web has been cut down, and the truth, the shocking, scandalous, absolute truth, is that Michael B. Jordan was always 10 steps ahead. He didn't just survive the hurricane, he controlled the wind. And so, we close the book on the Trey Songz, Lori Harvey, and Michael B. Jordan triangle. It wasn't a love story, it wasn't a tragedy, and it wasn't even a romance. It was a lesson in power, a masterclass in staying silent when the world expects you to scream, and a reminder that the truth always hits harder than the headline. Stay tuned to your feeds, because while this chapter is over, the repercussions will be felt in Hollywood for years to come. What happens when the spotlight fades and the cameras stop rolling? For Trey and Lori, it's a long walk into the shadows of litigation. For Michael B. Jordan, it's the beginning of a legacy that no scandal could ever touch. The stage is dark, the audience is leaving, and the truth has finally been told. Was it worth it? Only the three of them know the answer, but the world has already made its judgment. Michael B. Jordan speaks through his success, and right now, his voice is the only one that matters. Whose side were you on? Did you see the signs of betrayal early on, or did the glamour of the new couple blind you to the reality of the situation? Drop your final thoughts in the comments, because this is one for the history books. Don't forget to subscribe for the full breakdown of the upcoming legal battles, because if you thought the drama was over, you haven't been paying attention. The fallout is just beginning. And that, my friends, is how you play the long game in a city built on smoke and mirrors. Michael B. Jordan didn't just survive the hurricane. He became the eye of the storm, standing still while the chaos he predicted dismantled his enemies piece by piece. But now that the October logs are out and the final deposition is looming, the real question isn't about the romance, it's about the fallout. Is this the final nail in the coffin for Trey Songz's industry standing? Or is there another calculated move we haven't seen yet? And what about Lori Harvey? Can the ultimate it girl ever truly recover her untouchable status after being exposed as a key player in this psychological war? Or is she already scouting for her next move in this high-stakes game of celebrity chess? The world is watching, the receipts are trending, and the silence has been shattered for good. Now, I want to hear from you. Was Michael right to bait the trap, or did he take the exposed narrative too far? Is the Trey and Lori alliance officially dead, or is this just the calm before an even bigger legal storm? Drop your theories in the comments below. I'm reading every single one, and you know the best ones are getting pinned. If you want to stay ahead of the next breaking leak and the exclusive breakdown of the upcoming lawsuits, you know what to do. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications. You don't want to be the last to know when the next headline drops. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay focused, and keep watching The Throne. This is the truth, and the truth is just getting started.